The encounter between terrorists and the security forces in Srinagar's Nagar area is finally over after a 24-hour gun battle. All the terrorists have been neutralized yesterday. 2 terrorists have made an attempt to infiltrate the Central Reserve Police Force camp headquartered in Srinagar. Mopping operations are currently underway. A Central Reserve Police Force constable was killed in the gunfight with terrorists yesterday after security forces foiled attempts to strike the CRPF camp. The martyred soldier Muhammad Mujahid Khan belonged to the 49th Battalion of the CRPF. The army paid tribute to the soldier by organizing a wreath-laying ceremony in Srinagar.
Because of the help of the community, we could take out the civilians from the encounter site, and subsequently the deliberate assault plan was planned by the CRPF and the SOG joint team. And this operation, as I said, is a clean operation, and we could actually complete the operation in a note that there is no collateral damage other than the target, the location where the terrorists were hiding. No other collateral damage has happened to any of the places.
And I'm joined by my colleague Khalid from Srinagar and Ramesh Ramchandran, senior correspondent from Newsroom. But going straight to Khalid first, he covered the encounter for the past 2 days. Khalid, how did this encounter end and why did it take so long? Because there were only 2 militants.
Well, first of all, the militants were trapped in a concrete building, which made the operations difficult because all the concrete building was quite heavily built, and that's why the encounter took long. And the second part is that the security forces wanted to take their sweet time. They wanted to go slow and gradually proceed to the building. Damage to the civilian population in the nearby areas and as well as the security forces. This has been the normal standard operating procedure for security forces. They take these encounters very slow. They take their time, ensuring that there is minimal damage on the side of security forces. Also to mention, the ammunition of militants is usually low. They usually carry 5 to 6, at the max 10 magazines of ammunition with them. Once their ammunition is over, it's very easy for them to launch a swift final assault action. And that's precisely what happened in this encounter. The entire area was cordoned off. There was no question of them running away from the building. So the security forces took their time to cause considerable damage to the building so that they can sneak in, and then made a swift final assault this afternoon.
You stay with me, Khalid. I'm also joined by my colleague Ramesh Ramachandran. Ramesh, the context of the 2 terrorist attack which has taken place in India, it is succeeded by a verbal exchange between the 2 defense ministers. Now, in your experience, is it a new? And what are the consequences when 2 defense ministers say that a lesson would be taught?
Karthike, it is not new at all for Indian and Pakistani politicians to exchange a verbal duel of sorts. This war of words is not new. What is new, however, is this new resolve on the part of India to inflict or impose costs on the perpetrators of terrorism in Pakistan. And we've seen that happen in September 2016 when India conducted surgical strikes across the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir. So Mr. Sitaraman saying that Pakistan will pay a price for its misadventure. And when she says that, one has to take her at face value.
But when you say that this is not new, perhaps it only leaves the prime ministers of both the countries, to talk something even more serious than the word that the adventurers will be taught a lesson. But to tell me, for the benefit of the larger viewers, does it show that the policy which has been pursued in terms of security by the Indian government will continue in Kashmir? Or it also goes on to show that it has the diplomatic ramifications which it had on the 2 countries will continue, which means there will be no thaw?
Karthike, if the past is an indicator, India is very firm in its resolve that talks and terror cannot go hand in hand, that Pakistan must make a clean break with the past and not allow terrorist groups to operate on its soil, especially targeting the activities against India. Now, Prime Minister Modi himself has said that blood and water cannot flow together, and therefore, if that is an indicator, India is very firm that talks will not and cannot happen right now. What India will choose to do is to retaliate at a time and place of its own choosing in retaliation to the latest provocation from Pakistan.
Thank you, Ramesh, for your update. But back to Khalid. Khalid, there was a press conference which was took place in Jammu. But in context of the security inputs which the security forces received in Srinagar, what are you prima facie receiving as to how come these two attacks took place in such quick succession in J&K?
Well, yes, there were clear-cut intelligence inputs that there could be Fidai suicide attacks in Kashmir Valley, and there were kind of reports coming in from all intelligence agencies regarding these attacks. There was a context in these attacks because the terror groups had indeed vowed that they will conduct some sort of strikes on the anniversary of Parliament attack convict Afzal Guru Day and as well as Maqbul Bhatt Day, and both days were very important for the security forces, and they did indeed manage to strike on these very days. Also to mention is the Operation All Out, which has been a spectacular success on ground. It is somewhat restored normalcy in South Kashmir, where there were liberated zones where even a policeman and an army man could not go in. After the successful Operation All Out, now the militant groups are wanting to create some sort of sensation. They are trying to show that the Operation All Out has not reached its logical conclusion. They are also trying to show their dominance in the Kashmir Valley, and that's precisely what is happening out here. It is some sort of a perception game happening on both sides. On one hand, security forces are saying that they are launching an Operation All Out and will indeed bring back normalcy and peace to Kashmir. But on the other hand, the militant groups wanting to do these spectacular, sensational attacks which will kind of draw attention towards them and somewhat change the perception and the narrative that's been building up since last 9 months from the day the Operation All Out was launched.
Thank you, Khalid. And thank you, Ramesh, both of you for giving us the perspective and the context of the news, Khalid. Thank you so much.